The kiddos are back in school, and hopefully you have a little bit more me time, otherwise known as reading time. Liz and Lisa are here with their book club picks for September, and this time they didn't just bring the books with them, they actually brought an author, Michelle Gable. Yay. Good morning to all you ladies. I feel like there's like a book club party right here at Fox 5. Thank you for being here. We're going to get to your book in just a moment, but what are you reading? What's on the list?
So this month I'm bringing Rouge, and this book is kind of crazy, but in the very best way. It takes place in La Jolla Cove, which was one of my favorite things about the book.
Ooh.
So it's kind of like a gothic fairy tale. It's about a woman named Mirabelle, or Belle.
Okay.
And her mother has died mysteriously, so she's traveled from Canada to come back to La Jolla Cove, and she fell off the rocks. She was involved in this beauty cult. There's a magic mirror. There's a lot of things going on. I almost, and someone described it to me, they're just like, this is the craziest book in the best way that I've ever read. So if you like fairy tales and like a little bit of magic, but there's also a lot of insight about mother-daughter relationships and how we look at beauty. And also, like, I loved having all the local La Jolla spots like recognized. So I highly recommend. It's really fun and so much to dive into for book clubs.
Okay, that's called The Rouge, right?
It's called Rouge by Mona Awad. Yeah.
Okay, you've also chosen a memoir, Many Lives of Mama. Is that, did I get this right?
Of Mama Love.
Of Mama Love, okay.
Yeah,
what is this about?
I actually chose this because Michelle posted about it on Instagram.
It's amazing.
And it's amazing. It is about a woman who actually becomes addicted to heroin. She's a soccer mom. She becomes addicted to heroin, and she steals her neighbor's credit cards to pay for it and does a lot of shady things to start paying for the habit. And the police show up one day and she's arrested, and she's charged with 30-something felonies. So she's got to go to jail. And once she's inside, she starts climbing the social ladder, and they start calling her Mama Love because she just has a way with people. She's a big reader, and she just gives a lot of great advice. And so they start calling her Mama Love. And once she gets out, she actually rebuilds her entire life, and she becomes a ghostwriter. And she meets Oprah and the Dalai Lama, and it's just an amazing. I know, it's an amazing. Talk about a crazy story in the best way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who would like to read this? Do you think anybody that is into?
I think anybody would want to read this. Moms would want to read this because it could be any mom you know, really, and that's the whole deal with getting addicted to opioids or drugs.
By the way, I saw Painkillers. I just finished it on Netflix. Have you seen that?
I just watched that.
So when you talked about all of that, I just finished it. I was
like,
oh my gosh.
It's like a perfectly normal person that just falls into drugs, and it's so hard to get out of it.
It's so hard to get out of it. So hard, especially it's like an ongoing issue nowadays, unfortunately. Okay, so those are the first two books. And you brought a local author. What I love is that so many times when you two come on here, you're talking about local authors, you're talking about things that are happening in San Diego. And that's so cool that we have local authors here that are doing this. Thank you, your first time here.
It is
tell
my
us,
first
tell
time
us
here.
a little bit about your book. Your book is called Lipstick Bureau.
Yep,
okay.
It is historical fiction, and it takes place at the end of World War II. So it's after Rome has been liberated, but before the war has ended. So it's a very unique time period. Half of Italy was Allied, half was Axis. No one really knew where their loyalties lied, and during that time, the U.S. sent over a ragtag group of people that were sent where they're a bunch of misfits, and they're sent there to put out propaganda campaigns and get in the heads of the enemy. And so they go through all these very inventive campaigns and sneaky little gambits to try to lower the morale of the enemy.
And this, you thought of all this? So you saw
well, I mean, it's all based on real, and it's all based on real people and real facts.
Wow.
And it's the main character is a woman who was sent over there, and it's based on a real person. So.
And you two decided to add her book to your September list?
Yeah,
absolutely.
And we've talked about Michelle's books here multiple times because they are so great for book clubs. She highlights women in history that maybe haven't been talked about very much and kind of brings them to the forefront. And there's so much to dive into. So we thought she'd be the perfect person to bring with us today.
This is impressive. Okay, if you want to make a book club, I mean, it's like on my list. I just, I don't know if I'll get to it in this lifetime, but if you wanted to make a book club, how do you do it? What's the best way to start?
You can use Nextdoor, and you just go on there and you make a post about who wants to read, and people come together. I see it all the time. So that's an excellent way, just with your neighbors and local community.
Do I have to pick one this time? Are we done with the picking? Because I feel like I want to pick one.
You can still pick one.
do
You can do whatever you want.
Your show, girl.
I try to say that to everybody, but I don't know if everybody agrees with me. Only because, especially you brought the local author with us, it has to be appropriate that I pick her book.
Of course.
I want to
I second
I'll add
that.
it to my list. Michelle, I never read. I have too many kids and it just doesn't happen, but it's on my list to read your book. Thank you for being here, ladies. And we'll get a list of all these books so that if you want to read them, foxeyesandiego.com, click the scene on tab. This was fun. We should do it more often.
Yes.
Okay.